Okay guys, let's go. We're over in Ulster. I've got a soft spot for Ulster. You guys already know that though, don't you? I've got nothing but respect for the Ulster men and the Ulster ladies. I think they're the most loyal of all the United Kingdom, to be honest. Right, why are we over in Ulster? Freedom Dad, he's got a video out about a protest he was at yesterday, calling for the release of Stevie Baker. I'll leave a link in the description, but I will be playing parts of the video, of the live stream in this video. So first of all, who is Stephen Baker? Let's take this from the Irish News. Anti-immigration protester Stephen Baker remanded after being charged over riot. Refusing bail, the judge tells court those involved in disorder pose an existential threat to all of us. Remember what the judge said there, we'll be coming back to it. Okay, this is June 13th, 2026. A high-profile anti-immigration protester has been remanded in custody, charged with rioting. Stephen Baker was among 4 men who appeared at Belfast Magistrates Court in connection with public disorder, which followed a brutal stabbing incident in North Belfast. Appearing in the dock Friday, Baker, with an address on the Craigar Road in east of the city, was charged with an offence of riotous assembly on Wednesday night. The court heard the accused was observed by a police drone during serious disorder in Glencomley shortly after 11 p.m. The police officer said Baker was identified wearing a white hooded top and a white bucket hat emblazoned with the words, "Keir Starmer is a wanker." Dress sensibly for these events, guys. Dress sensibly. He was detained along with a number of other individuals but gave no comment during the police interview. The constable told District Judge Stephen Noone that having reviewed the footage, it appeared Baker had been moving among a large crowd present. Oh, right, well, guilty for walking about, probably guilty for breathing as well. He conceded Baker was not observed throwing anything at police or causing any damage. So the man had done nothing, he was just simply there observing as a citizen journalist. He threw nothing, no evidence to say that he had taken part in any violent actions. Baker, the court heard, was offered bail from custody, but refused to accept the bail conditions offered by the police. Over in Ulster, what they do is arrest people and then they keep them hanging about on bail for years. And I mean years in some cases. I think 2 years, one of their activists has been on bail for now. Freedom Dad can tell us more about that. And this, of course, stops them attending any other demonstrations, effectively silencing a citizen journalist. That refusal led to his appearance in the dock on Friday and an application for bail. Here's where we see two-tier justice in operation. Describing Baker as a citizen journalist, she told Judge, the defendant absolutely denies doing anything other than observing. Now, we know that from the police statements that despite having drone footage, he was observed doing nothing other than walking around wearing a t-shirt saying Starmer's a wanker. Refusing the application, the judge said Baker should not have been offered bail in the first instance. Think about that. He said people who involve themselves in this or support or encourage these outrageous attacks on our community, and including, as we've all seen, outrageous attacks on hard-working and valued members of our society from all backgrounds and cultures, need to be removed from our society because they pose an existential threat to all of us. The only people who need to be removed from society are all those who are in our country illegally, and also those who've been granted legal status by a corrupt government. These are the people who need to be removed from our society. District Judge Keown said he was refusing bail due to the risk of further offending and an inability to abide by court orders and a risk of harm to the public. Stevie's no risk of harm to anyone at all. All he's guilty of is attending a protest against the stabbing of a man in Belfast and refusing to abide by court orders that would forbid him reporting on any other similar events in Ulster. Right, that's what we're going to do now is we'll go over to some footage of Freedom Dad speaking at a protest in Belfast, and I'll play some highlighted clips from that video. Stand by, pause, Paul. Okay, I don't do any fancy editing. I'll get some clips, as I said, and then I'll leave a link to the full live stream in the description. Here you go, Mr. X up on in the blue, and there's Freedom Dad. Let's see what's going down.
You don't need a poster.
What? I know everybody's on here this weekend. Put the poster in front there.
Get some footage of what it says on the posters. Yeah. Top side button.
Right, he wants us up here.
No, that's it. Just stay there, girls. Just stay there. Right, just relax. Yeah. Come on down there, because I don't want you sitting right in front of the camera. Yeah, just down now. Right, so, right, Graham.
No, we're sitting down. Can I jump on the side in this side? Okay.
I'm going to put that in. Jump you down there for now, and I'll call you up, right?
What will put this on for?
What's that? I'll turn that on, so we'll. 1, 2, 1, 2.
True patriot.
I don't even know if I'm doing a speaker or not. I'm not needed.
I know, I want to catch it from my camera, just in case. Right, mate. All right, guys, thanks. I hope everybody can hear me. Do you want to check the volume on this, Jim?
I think you need to put that speaker up in that boat, maybe.
All right, go ahead.
Jim Dowson there, guys.
Thanks very much for everybody coming on behalf of Robin. Robin's right there, and like she'll come around and say she want to come around and say thank you to everybody, but she's got up on a new oven, and we're going to have another baby very, very soon, and so that'll be number 5 for the Baker family, and we hope we get Baker out for this event, bringing another patriot into the world. Like I say, guys, we're a very small movement in Northern Ireland, the patriot movement, and you know, as you can see, we don't get big numbers out, but you know, at the end of the day, this is how I am about it. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. And the people that I go to, when I'm at demos and I meet people and see all you guys, and we go to Coleraine and even Glasgow and all up in England and in Dublin, the men that are coming out, the men and women standing outside right now, like yous are quality. You don't realise yous are ahead of your game. And other people know yous are ahead of your game, but they're just as scared to come out because of the far-right racist rhetoric. And yes, there is an element of what people would call far-right, because me, myself, is asking for a complete cessation of immigration until we take stock of what's coming in. That's not saying we want to get rid of every foreigner, and we don't ever want foreigners to come into our lands. We need to take stock, and this is what Stevie Baker was doing. And this is why Stevie Baker's in jail, guys. It's, you know, this is a concerted effort by the government, the media, the far left, and infiltrators in our own communities that are working together to bring people like Stevie Baker down. And myself, Glenn Kane, Pinky, patriotic media. Pinky and patriotic media can't be here because of bail conditions. Do you know why that is? Because they're that good. So our best are suffering. The best out of our community are standing up right now. Whether we've got shady past or not, bring out the churchmen. Bring out somebody else that's going to do it. Where are they? You know, if you're not happy with the guys with the shady past, come out and do it yourselves. You know, it's as simple as that. I'm prepared to step down if there's a better man to come up and do this that people will listen to. That's where we're at. We're not here for egos. We're not here for money. We're here to awaken our community to what's coming in England and Ireland, because we're stuck in the middle. And that's what Stevie Baker knew for a very long time ago, like Glen Kane. Well before I was doing it, Stevie Baker was there at COVID, outside storming on his own in the rain. Years ago, we're talking years, he's been doing this for a long time. And I've got nothing but respect for the man, and he shouldn't be in prison. It is an injustice. It's an injustice that's going to happen to more men as we go forward. And for the people that aren't here today, it can be you tomorrow. So, you know, when you do come out, I want you to remember the people that are here before you and give them the recognition that they need because of their head of their game. And not only that, they're the bravest people in our communities because they're here today. Glen Kane.
Keep that close to you.
Just keep it right close to you. You don't need to press on you.
Hello?
That's it.
My name's Glen Kane. I was arrested in County Ulster 2024. I went to a rally down the town, so I did, in solidarity with the families of the three primary school children who was murdered in Southport. So I went down that rally, so I did. And one side there was loyalists, and the other side there was left-wing communist provisional IRA members, dissident INLA, new area and all. So a week later, I was arrested by the police, so I was. I got a phone call to come back to the house, and what it was in the street, you think one of the neighbours said to me, I think a murder happened in the street. There was 6 RUC PSNI jeeps in the street, 25 to 30 TSG, Technical Support Group, police officers, which is anti-terrorist police officers, and a paramilitary crime task force, White Transit Fawn, which had disc cutters in it, sledgehammers, jammy bars, things like that, cameras, x-ray machines. So before I came back, one of the neighbours said to me that the police put a big lead through my letterbox with a camera in it and all. So I came back, and the police was waiting outside the door, and we just went in, and they read me my rights and all, things like that. So they took me away to Musgrave Street police station for 2 days. And what it was, I was a former member of the British National Party, BNP, and the police says that I was directing the far-right race riots and rallies. I says I wasn't. So the police says, how did I organise the far-right race riots and rallies? Did I do it through mobile phone, text messages, or email or WhatsApp? And I said to the police, no, I wouldn't, because if I'd done a thing like that, MI5 up at Palace Sports would hack into my phone and all my friends' phones and all. So what it was, the police brought memorabilia out in the police station, and I had a painting that was given to me by Lieutenant Colonel Lenny Murphy's mother, Joyce. She was like a granny to me. So she had given me that. Then my mate, Alan Bucky McCulloch, he owned a Billy Wright banner. It says Billy Wright UFFC Company, LVF. But I'd Red Hong Commando, things about UVF UDA through the years. And they also got Britain First Regalia in my house, BNP, everything under the sun. So, and I had a bullet, which I bought down at a military fair down at Bangor a number of years ago. It was like a military fair. You could buy like wee bullets, used bullets, British Army and German gear, things like that. They were going to charge me with having that fired round. I says, look, if you lift the cartridge upside down, you'll see like a detonation mark on it. They wouldn't do it. They just give me a hard time now. And the police said to me in the box, Glenn, are you in contact with other people in the United Kingdom? So after the murders of these primary school children, one was a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, and a 9-year-old. There was 10 people injured by this foreign national. These were extremists. He was on laptops, things like that, about Al Qaeda, and the police caught the deadly racing in his house. It was a biological warfare. They've charged him things like that, but they just like sort of give me a hard time. They says, how did the ones I was talking to in England, I know what they were getting at, the BNP, Britain First, or British National Party. I just says I'm in the thing with nobody. Then they were saying to me and my solicitor, we believe Glenn was down doing a bit of organisation, these rats and whatever. So what it was, when I went down this rally, I was decided to go into left-wing communist controlled the Botanic area. There's a mosque up there, plus there's loads of foreign national shops up there. So we all started to march up, and the police started to say, I a thing through the mic that this is a police message, you'll be liable to arrest. So I held back for 10 minutes. So I just went on up and I went up the rat scene, things like that, but I didn't take part in it because I knew I would have been public enemy #1. So I've been out in bail for 2 years. What it was, for nearly 4 months, I had to go to the police station down Lisburn town centre, Lisburn, 14 miles there, 14 miles home, for nearly 4 months. Then the police had me banned from Belfast city centre, 1 mile, or sorry, a half a mile square radius. I couldn't go into town. I wasn't allowed to go to any far right rallies, for demonstrations. I was barred from all the shops, but all this was lifted now, and I'm up in court Monday, the 24th of August here, and I was up in court the other week, and my solicitor got up and says, "Look, the Public Prosecution Service wants to drop Glenn's charge because it was a technicality, or one technicality, or technicalities, and they want to recharge Glenn." And the solicitor says, "I don't want this to happen." So the judge, he said in Belfast Lyndsey Court, "No, I'm not going to drop. I'm not going to drop this. I can't go against the Public Prosecution Service." So what it is, I'm up on Monday, Belfast Lyndsey Court. There's a big decision on me and things like that. Well, then I'm against illegal mass immigration, things like that. These terrorists coming in, they're coming in by a boatload and all, and there's fighting its men coming in now, like sort of soldiers that's involved in the Taliban. And I feel a pity for the British soldiers. The British soldiers in England, Scotland, and Wales, in Northern Ireland, the Royal Irish Regiment, and the Irish Guards. I'm sure they feel sad going over to Afghanistan and Iraq, fighting the enemy, now the enemies within the United Kingdom. And that's why I said it's going to happen again and again and again. There'll be like sort of Islamic murders here, England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. It's going to come. And I predict myself in maybe 50, 60 years, I think there's going to be an Islamic war within the United Kingdom. These Islamic ones, they're invading Europe and all that. They're getting into Europe countries, white countries, and they'll start the jihadi war. And also, I would like to say the books I was arrested with, I was done by a Protestant minister. You call it Sand in the Red Hand. It's about Muslim extremists going to different parts of the world. Then after a while, they'll start the jihadi wars in the white countries. I believe myself that these Muslim jihadis they're wanting to take over the whole world now, and it scares me. And what it is, I always say what Brigadier Enoch Powell says. So the United Kingdom would have listened to Brigadier Enoch Powell, we wouldn't be in this position. And the government in now, Labour governments, a left-wing communist government, they don't give a toss about the British people on the streets, because they're in their fancy houses, fancy motor cars, and they can go on their holidays, everything. This left-wing communist government, Labour, they just worry about their own families. They don't worry about us, what's going to happen. We need everybody to stand together. I'm not against like immigrants coming into work, nurses, doctors, or whatever, but I'm against this illegal modern immigration. And I've always said for years, like, I would love a British border in Northern Ireland. So these here illegal immigrants are getting brought up in farms, things like that. But all that, and I'd just like to finish off. When I'm in town at times, Roman Catholics would come to me and they would say, "Glenn, I watch you and Freedom Dad on YouTube at times, and Pinky as well." I says, "Thanks." I said to a fella the other week, "Where are you from?" So he told me he was from the Lower Falls. The Lower Falls, IPLO, Lord Davis. He came from like a well-known Republican family, but he's 18, like 19, something like that. He says, "That's okay." Then another Catholic stopped me in Freedom Dad and Pinky in Belfast City Centre when I was at court months ago. He shook my hand, me, Pinky, and Freedom Dad. And he says, "Good on you." I says, "Where are you from, mate?" And he says, "You'll not want to speak to me." I says, "No, it's okay." And he says, "I'm from Ardorn." I says, "You's against immigration?" He says, "Yes." He says, "We all hate them, but Sinn Féin won't let them come out." Then I was at court as well the other week, and there's a wee lad from Lyndsey. He says, "You don't mind me saying to you, what are you in for, Glenn?" And all. He knew my face and all, and I just says, "I got arrested to do going to a rally and all." And I says, "Where are you from, Lyndsey?" And I says, "You against immigration?" He says, "Yes." What it is, Sinn Féin IRA and the dissident INLA, and the new IRA, they won't let the ordinary Catholics come out and speak out against immigration. Like, you know what I mean? What it is, there's Protestants and Catholics here. There's going to be a jihadi war probably in 50 or 60 years, and we'll have. I'm just saying, people within their own areas to stand up. I love being British and all, and I don't want my British taken away because this threat of left-wing communism. That's about everything. So I'm up Monday coming. Big decision. Brigadier, not Paul. Right, thanks so much.
Right, thank you, Glenn. Yes, as you know, he's my best mate, and he's always been my side. And we stand shoulder to shoulder, don't we, bro?
Yes.
And you know, 2 years, this is what it's all about. 2 years this man has been facing these charges, and memorabilia that a lot of us have in their houses, and a magazine called Red Hand in the Sand, which is legal buy online. And the person that wrote the book hasn't even been charged, but Glenn has been charged for having it. So this is to give you an idea of what's happening when you come on to the right of politics, and you tell your government that you're not happy what's coming, and you look into your history and you find out that men like Enoch Powell he was on the button, you know what I mean? And you know, as we see going forward with many politicians and other right-wing activists in England and in Ireland, they're being shut down in silence. And you know, if the government have their way, they'll drop it online. But the thing what you got to remember.
Okay, I'll pause it there, guys, and I will move forward to the next person that they interview. I realised today I'm 77. I became a British nationalist at the age of 27. I've been a British nationalist now for 50 years, beating the same drum, always the same drum, trying to warn my fellow British citizens. The guy with the microphone, Freedom Dad, he works tirelessly for unification between, if you like, the Republicans of Ulster and the Loyalists of Ulster. And he tries to get them to work together. Because of this, he's received numerous death threats from the Marxist IRA, along with the guy who's with him in the blue t-shirt. His name is Glenn. And he's been on probation now for 2 years for simply having a magazine that almost every house in Ulster has a copy of, memorabilia from the times of, should we call it, the Troubles. And as it says there, he's been in bail for 2 years, and this prevents him taking part in many demonstrations. And this is what they're attempting to do now with the patriot Stevie Baker, who's remanded without bail. And anyhow, we'll move on to the next thing. The interesting thing that Freedom Glenn said there was about known associations. Well, I'm known to Freedom Dad, I'm known to Glenn, I'm known to the guy sat there, Jim Dowson. I met him personally. Next year I hope to be over in Ulster for the 12th of July. I've been invited over in the past by Freedom Dad. I haven't had a chance to make it yet, but next year I'll definitely be there. Yeah, so I'm probably well aware that there's a target on me also. Not as big as target as Freedom Dad though, because the IRA have warned him not to go down into the Republic again. He'd be a tough man to stop, would Freedom Dad be. He's passionate. Like most of us, he's got a past. Yeah. I look at him and I think, there, but for the grace of God go I. If I'd been born in the Shankill, I'd have been stood up there now next to Glenn and Freedom Dad. It's my nature. I care about my country just like those men do. I'm well aware that I've been watched by the security forces since probably the last 20, 30 years. I'm definitely on their watch list. And now let's see if we can move on to the next speaker. Pause, Paul. Okay, guys. Next speaker up now. I haven't watched the rest of this video. I've only watched the beginning, so we've seen it together for the first time. Unless, of course, you're a bit more switched on than me and you watched Freedom Dad stream it live. Let's play it and see what this rather attractive young lady looks like.
Oh, sorry.
Sounds like.
What I need to do on that? And press on it. All right. Hello, everybody. It's absolutely wonderful to see everybody here, all the friendly faces. Thank you all so much. So, guys, I'm just back from the track there where I had a successful sprint session. Anybody that knows me personally knows that I've been complaining about a hamstring injury over the last 3 to 4 weeks. And I know you might be thinking, Lyndsey, why are you coming up and telling us about your poor wee hamstring or about your track and field session? Well, just bear with me for a second, right? So, I was a recovered addict, and I found track and field about 6-7 years ago, and it absolutely means everything to me. It was a way that I was able to recover, a way that I was still able to get a little buzz in life, you know, when you run that fast 100 metres and you cross the finish line and you get that excitement. So along with that, using my social media presence to teach people how to have a strong mindset and to how to also be able to recover from addiction. So these were two things that were very, very important to me, very, very close to my heart. I travelled up and down around this whole island, supporting adults, supporting children in their track and field events, no matter what colour their skin was. I was their biggest cheerleader. Again, with the mental health recovered addicts, I was there speaking in our youth centres, speaking at women's groups and showing people that recovery is possible. If I can do it, anybody else can do it. Then Southport happened, and I just couldn't believe my eyes what I was seeing with this Southport incident. I had studied the mindset, which had in turn had allowed me to understand ideologies, because I understood how the conscious and the subconscious mind operates. And so I started looking into the dangerous ideology that is coming and eating through the West. And I seen what was happening. And I knew in my heart of hearts that I had to start speaking up about what was happening in our country. And so I did. I had the social media presence there, and I used that to speak up about what's happening. So then I went over to the track one night to do my usual cheerleading for all the kids who were competing that night. And through a third party, I was told that I am not welcome in athletics anymore because I spoke up about what's happening in this country. I'm not welcome in the club. People snubbed me. They wouldn't look at me. As far as I was aware, parents were complaining about me, even though they'd watched me for 2 to 3 years prior, cheer their kids on at every single race they'd went to. All of a sudden, I was a racist, even though I had travelled around this country supporting children and adults of all colours and backgrounds. All of a sudden, that was me banned. Don't come back. You're not welcome. The very next day, I wake up, my social media is gone. Gone. Do you know that social media where I empowered other people, other addicts that were struggling, and I empowered them and showed them that if I could get through it, they could? Bang, gone. 2 days later, I get the police on the phone. Do you know that investigation into you, Lyndsey? No, I don't know about any investigation that's into me. Thank you very much. Oh, well, there's been a wee investigation into you for hate, racist crimes online. I said, well, I don't know anything about it. Well, we're dropping it. So I wondered to myself, Lyndsey, could this all be connected? Hold on, you're 4 foot nothing over here. You're just using your voice online. You're kicked out of athletics. Your social media is gone, and there's a police investigation into you, all within 72 hours. Boom, 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 gone. Did they not continue with the police investigation? Because they knew they had already broke my heart by getting me kicked out of athletics. Did they not continue with it because they already knew that I wasn't able to use my social media platform to help other people from our country. It was hurtful, guys. I'm not going to lie. It was a tough time, a very tough time. They took everything from me that I absolutely loved. And I went to ground for a couple of weeks, and I thought, what am I going to do? I can't go back to athletics. My social media is gone. And I thought, I know in my heart of hearts the dangerous ideology that our government is bringing into this country. I know in my heart that I need to be the strong person that I am, and that I need to continue speaking. So I started a new social media. I continued training sprints and hurdles just away from the main track. I went somewhere else and I continued doing it because I enjoy being fit and healthy. I enjoy empowering other people to be their best versions. And just because these boys tried to stop me, I wasn't going to let it go. Can I compete in athletics right now? No. Am I in a whole appeal at the minute with athletics to be allowed to compete again? Yes, that's what's happening right now. But nobody is going to stop us. I know every single one of you know in your heart of hearts what we're doing is correct. This has not just affected my personal life, which meant a lot to me with these addiction and the athletics, but also it's how my finances. I get a job, I work in finance, and I would go into different businesses if they've got somebody off sick, somebody on maternity, maybe their department needs a little bit of help for a few months. I would go in and help their finance departments. The last one I went into there just a few months ago, I went in. The boss spoke to me 3 days after I'd been there. You're amazing, Lyndsey. You're doing everything we wanted you to come in here and do. And in fact, you're absolutely brilliant around the office. Everybody's loving your energy. You're doing a fantastic job. I'm sitting on the Sunday night, ready to go into that job again on the Monday morning, and I get a text message. Don't come near our office again. We've looked at your social media over the weekend. We don't align with your political views. Do not come back. So I'm doing a good job, but don't come back because you don't align with my political views. Had I not just treated you all with respect, dignity, when I was there for the week, hadn't I done a good job? Yes, but oh no, because of my political views, now then I can get the sack like that, and I can't do anything about it. It was a temporary role. Guys, I'm not up here to say all this for sympathy. You know, a lot of you will not know this because I don't talk a lot about it online. This will make us stronger. Everything that's happened to me over this last year has made me stronger. I will find a way to continue doing the things that I want to do, the things that make me stronger. And yes, sometimes it will hit us hard. Yes, sometimes we'll be hurt. But we will get back up and we will continue to fight harder. And Robin, to what's happening to you and your family, we're with you, we support you, and mate, this will make you and your family stronger. Thank you.
What a brilliant speech from a brave young lady, Lyndsey. Wow, she's going through what all patriots go through, those who stand up and speak out the truth, put themselves in the front line. She did it, and she paid the price. Now you know why I love those Ulster girls. I really do love the Ulster women. They're brave as hell. Brave as hell. Anyone braver? They're men. No, they're much the same. In the front, in case you don't recognise them, that's the Pink Ladies. They're at a lot of processions and demonstrations over there in Ulster. Yeah, they're brave ladies. Okay, we'll move on to the next speaker. I'm not actually sure who it is, but I'm impressed with this so far. I don't know how many people will see this video. I do know that our channel is very heavily throttled. There's a couple of things YouTube don't like me talking about. They don't like me talking about the Zionists, Israel, Ulster. In fact, I don't think they like me at all. I know, let's see who's speaking next. Pause, Paul. Oh yes, it's the man himself. The man himself. James Dowson, BMP. Ah, it's interesting. I'm ex-BMP, as you know. I'm proud of my time in the British National Party. I'm proud of my association with James Dowson. He's leading the International Knights Templars now, isn't he? Yeah, he raised millions for the BNP. Glenn sat down there. Yeah, he's ex-BNP. Yeah. Ah, I'm in good company then. I'm in good company. Right. Let's see what Jim Dowson has to say.
Much, mate.
Hey, bother. Thanks very much.
Can I get a mic on you?
You need a mic?
Yeah, just for my platform.
Well, thank you very much for gathering here today. I'd just like to say to Stevie's fantastic English wife, Robin, who's now expecting her 5th child. God bless you. May God's blessing be upon you and upon your children, because they are Ulster's future. The women of Ulster have it within their grasp to save this country far more than men, because we're facing all over the UK a demographic crisis. For every single white British person born, 3 die. You don't have to go to university to work out demographics. It's as simple as this. 3 people die, 1 is born, there's no future. Toast. That's what we're going to be if we don't have kids. So God bless you, and may you have many more. My daughter, and an English woman. So we say the English people, we're doing a website at the moment saying the English people, because all English people are getting very frightened, and rightly so. And a lot of them moving to Hungary and Poland. I say, don't move to Hungary and Poland, although they're great countries, great patriotic countries. Come to just a different part of your own country. Come to Northern Ireland. Make your life here, because you've still got a community here that knows how to fight and will fight. Absolutely no mistake about it. Now, I just want to remind you of something here. That's Tamar Street over there, I believe. There used to be a warehouse there, and I'm going to mention this for a specific reason, not to provoke violence, for the sake of the camera and the PSNI and all the rest of those rat bags. In Tamar Street in 1967, we had a warehouse there that held the guns of the old UVF. There was over 20,000 Mauser rifles and Henry Martinis in the warehouse, just there where the grass is now. And in 1967, people said, there's nothing to worry about. The country's stable. And they took all those guns out to Belfast Loch in 1967. And Ian Paisley blessed the ceremony as the guns were dumped in the sea. 2 years later, the trouble started. We were left defenceless. And this is one of the reasons people like Stevie Baker and all the other lads at Pinky are in the jail. It's a different type of warfare. They're trying to disarm us. Because today, social media, protesting is our weapon. So they're trying to disarm us, just like they did in 1967 with actually hardware. Now they're disarming us from social media. They're taking our voices away. I've been banned that many times in social media, I've gave up. But this is coming from the highest. Theresa May stood up in Parliament 7 years ago, 8 years ago, whenever she was in. She wasn't in long, was she? And she said I was a dangerous individual, had to be removed from social media. The next day I was removed from everywhere. That's what they're up to. They're trying to silence us, but they can never, ever silence us. I just looked at a bit of reminiscing. This is my old loudspeaker. And I had 25 heavily armed, Kevlar'd up PSNI men smashed my door in 2013 due to the flag protest. And on the search warrant was this. And I said it's lying there. They still spent 4 hours taking my house apart. Then that's what they've done. I was under house arrest for 3 years. And I'll tell you a wee story about that. Me, Willie Fraser, and Jamie Bryson were all grabbed the same day. I was arrested with 6 armed policemen, motorbike outriders, with my kids in the car pointing rifles at me. Not very nice. Just up the road there. Just up there. And when we went before the courts, the same day, it was a Saturday morning special sitting, there was an IRA man who'd been let out on licence. He'd been caught with a loaded revolver and he was given bail. And me, Jamie and Willie were carted off to jail. It's the same happening now. Stevie Baker's in jail, refused bail, and many other patriots are in the same boat. But 2 weeks ago, a girl was caught with a primed Semtex bomb. A bomb! And she was bailed. I know it's a different jurisdiction, but this is what we're up against now. This is very serious stuff and dangerous stuff. They will come after us, folks. They will come after us. There's no doubt about it. But we should remember who we are and what we are. And I think there's something missing here today. A good brother over here said, when I come down here, this man here with the jacket is far too tight for him. You're not 20 anymore, brother. I'm sorry. But he said to me, the problem is our people have forgotten God. And I'm not surprised with the church leaders we've got. Somebody said the other day, earlier on today, people don't want to associate with us because we've got shady pasts. I'm going to tell you something. I have a shady past, but I'm also a churchman these days. I worked tirelessly for many years for Loyalist Prisoners' Aid. I've got a very dark and shady past. I don't regret any of it. I would do the same again tomorrow if Ulster was threatened. Make no mistake about it. But we're living in a different age now. When I spend most of my day dealing with a lot of Irish Catholic patriots from down south and fine people they are. They're completely against Sinn Féin, completely against all that nonsense. And I work very well with them, and I'm very pleased to call him my brother. But we must get back to the basics. Ulster was founded by, protected by, and progressed by the God of our fathers. And we must never forget that. We must always raise up the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Saviour, to save Ulster. Oh God, our help in ages past, our hope for years to come. That's what made Ulster great. That's what kept us strong. If you think you're all grannies and whatnot, devout folk, weren't they? But I don't blame folk for not going to church now, because most churches are full of limp-wristed homosexuals, some may even say, weirdos, lefties, bearded freaks. They'd be better off at a Bob Dylan concert than behind a pulpit. Oh, people need men in the pulpit with steel in their spine. Men that rallied our people in years gone past, like the Reverend Hugh Hanna and other men who called out the name of God to save Ulster. That's what we need again now. And don't be afraid of your faith. Yes, we work with Catholics now. And I work with them every day, and they're wonderful people down south. So let's get rid of the old sectarianism. We've got a different fight now, and I just need to hurry up with this. Boats. I hear people talking about boats all the time. GB News and all the rest of it. Boats, boats, boats. In 10 years, less than 250,000 people have come in illegally by the boats. Yeah, 40,000 last year. Really bad year. However, last year, 1.3 million came in legally. So in 10 years, over 12 million people have came here legally. And they have the right to bring up to 12 members of their family. So do not be distracted. I know this is going to depress you. The boats are a distraction. They're throwing you buns to keep you occupied. It's nonsense. 40,000 on the boats, 1.3 million legally. We are being absolutely overrun. These are huge figures, my friend. Huge, huge figures. And they can bring in their family members. That's where we are today. But I want to tell you why things are falling apart and why they're desperate to shut us up. There's a thing called the social contract. What's the social contract, to hear you ask? Well, it's like this. A country is a gathering of people who have came together, who have fought, bled, and worked to build a place called a country. Our country is the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Our fathers, grandfathers, and some of us have fought and bled to establish this country. So that's the social contract. We, the people, we agree to lay down our lives for the country, to work hard for the country, to pay our taxes towards the country, to obey the law of the country, and to be good boys and girls, to be good citizens, okay? That's the social contract on our part. What do we get in return for that? The government look after us. They give us preferential treatment. We have health care. We have jobs. We have security. We have a law-abiding society. That's the social contract. We do our part. The government, who we elect, they do their part. When people come in from Somalia or Afghanistan, whose grandparents have never suffered, who have never lived in these wee side streets down here in East Belfast when the Germans bombed it, And if you ever see the pictures, people were out in the rubble of their houses, putting flags, Union Jacks up and waving their fist at the sky and saying, we can take it, Hitler. We can take it because we're British. That's our social contract. But when people come in from foreign lands who have never paid a penny into this country, who have never shed a drop of blood for this country, who have never dropped a drop of sweat for this country, and they are treated better than you, that then is the end of the social contract. And that's where we're going, my friends. And when that social contract ends, any country in world history that's had a breakdown in the social contract ends in revolution. That's a fact. That's a historical fact. When you destroy the social contract, you destroy our faith in the government, our faith in law and order, and our faith in society. And that's exactly where we are now. Now, just coming up to the end here with this thing. People say to me, what do you think's going to happen, Jim? I can absolutely tell you, as sure as I'm standing here and as God is my witness, the United Kingdom will be in civil war within 10 years. You can take that to the bank. Yep. And there's nothing I can do. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing any political party can do, even Rupert Lowe. Nothing, because the next election will probably be won by a Labour Green coalition. That's a fact. I hear people saying Rupert Lowe is going to win. Rupert Lowe's not even building a party. There's nothing there. They'll win 2 or 3 MPs if they're lucky. Reform will do reasonably well, but we are heading towards a real nightmare. And the only reason that we're not in civil war right now is a group called the Muslim Brotherhood. They have held the Muslims back. They're strong enough now to go to town. They're armed to the teeth. They have held them back because they need political coverage. What does that mean? It means they need at least 25% of the parliament being of a Muslim or a Muslim-friendly persuasion to give them political cover before they launch whatever they're going to launch. But I'm telling you, the civil war is that away. The civil war is that away, and we need to prepare for it. And I'm going to tell you this finally. At the moment, we are relying on political parties. We are bringing a knife to a gunfight. The enemy we will face will be fanatical, crazed, religiously motivated people. But we are still trying to deal with these people as Democrats, as civilized civilians. You can only bring a gun to a gunfight. A knife is no good. So we have to become religiously motivated. We have to become fanatical. We have to be prepared to lay down our lives for our country, for our family, and above all, for our God. Because the flag of Jesus Christ and his banner must fly above this country no matter what. Even if we're all lying dead in the gutter, the black flag of Islam will never fly over Ulster. No surrender. There you go, buddy. Oh, sorry.
Okay, guys, that was Jim Dowson. What a magnificent speech. I agree with almost everything he says there. Other than he says, Jim thinks we've got 10 years. I think it'll be happening before then. Yeah, I'm a Restore Britain man. But one can hope, one can dream. But I don't see there being a political solution to this at the ballot box. There's just too many on the left who've been brainwashed for decades, for a century or more. Their children brainwashed. Yeah, we're going to have to fight to save our country. I keep saying land belongs to those who occupy it and can hold it. The bad times come in, bad times come in. Interesting that Jim mentioned the black flag. I think one of the first articles I ever wrote as the old green arrow was the meaning of the black flag. It's not good for the people of this country, not good for the indigenous population. I told you, my valley's starting to look like the Khyber Pass. If they were to kick off in this part of the world, just 20 of them could decimate the entire population of my village if they wished to. because they're united, they're together. Not so much as British or as Welsh. Anyhow, I'm going to have to end this video now, guys. I have to be elsewhere. You can see the title. You can watch the full live stream over on Freedom Dad's channel. The title, Free Stevie Baker Gathering, East Belfast. I'm proud to call Freedom Dad my friend. I look forward to speaking to Jim Dowson again. We met in the past. I really liked what Jim Dowson said. I particularly liked what that brave young Ulster woman said. What was her name? Lyndsey? Yeah. Okay. I think that's about it, guys. You've been listening to Paul Morris, The Green Arrow, ending with what I always say, aim high, vote low, restore Britain, follow the bear. See you on the next one.